Before we start, I just wanted to give our thoughts and prayers to the family of Coach Sean Clark at UCF and to the UCF football program. It's really a tragedy, and thinking about them. And Mike Dawson, who was on our staff last year, has been touching me quite a bit and talked about what a quality man, husband, and coach he was, and he'll truly be missed.
Sorry, questions. We got mics on both sides. Sorry, Kevin.
Coach, what have you seen from Brennan Sorsby so far from Cincinnati?
Extremely talented, good arm, physical. You know, they're a really good football team just overall. And you know, a couple years back when we played them, you know, talking with Coach for the game, he talked about that they had some things to work on, recruiting and dressing and that, and it's very obvious they've done that, and you know, and especially including the quarterback position and what they're able to do and the start that they're off to, and I think our guys are well aware of that after introductions today that this will be the best team that we've played so far.
He leads them in rushing. You guys did pretty good job against Bo Pribula with Missouri. What do you guys have to do to?
Yeah, again, you know, be assignment sound, be disruptive up front, and you know, our front's played well so far, but again, it gets into all those things, being assignment sound football, getting off blocks, tackling well, all the different things, and again, you know, a lot of weapons there, so you got to defend everyone because you know good offenses are gonna exploit what you're not defending.
Seems like you guys may be a little banged up at safety, and Devin's going to miss the first half as well. How do you feel about the depth of that position right now?
Well, good question, Henry. You know, again, we feel good about the depth because we've been able to play some guys, but that being said, we're a little banged up. You know, Taylor was banged up going in the game, and really proud of the way he came through it. You know, again, too early to really talk until I have to on Wednesday, right, Jordan? That I don't have to about those injury reports, but we'll see where we're at. You know, Saeed and Taylor, Jalen. You know, we've got guys that are back there that'll continue to work, and there could be some other mixing and matching and stuff, and some personnel things we go. But you're right, and Mr. Devin, and tough play for Devin because at first, and the official even said who didn't make the call was he thought his face was up, and it was a good contact tackle, but you could see his head was down, and so we'll get him back the second half.
Lance, I think this is the first week that you don't have 4 oars for the 10th spot. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen?
Well, I just decided to take the oars off, okay? So it was more of, I just figured you guys understood the rotations by now and then all those guys would play, so I figured I wanted, but that was a good observation. That's mainly all it was we're just gonna take the oars off.
Yeah, what have you seen from the group so far this year?
Well, again, you know, a group that is well balanced. The thing, I'm really proud of that group because they all pull for each other. It's really neat. They understand that there's roles for all of them, and that the team is better when they're all on, when they all get their opportunities, and not one guy's going to take 95% of the snaps, even though they all want to play, and though we continue to push and you know, find things. You know, that group, we got to continue to work on blocking and some things like that that'll help us in the run game. But they've all been able to make plays in the pass game, contribute on special teams, and really, one of the other ones not on there is Jaden Ham, who played in his limited snaps at the end of the game. We really did a nice job as well. So again, like the group, like what they're doing. You know, I kept saying probably the biggest surprise of the group has been Bowden, and he's really kind of coming off surgery when he was at Rice. He just continues to get better each and every day.
It seems like you guys are working on a game, potentially playing overseas next season. What do you feel about that opportunity?
You know, I really don't have any official comments on that yet, and everything is, you know, it's kind of talked about. That's out of my hands at this point of where that's going. I can give you general thoughts on international play if you'd like, if that helps you at this point. But I think I think first of all, I think it's great experiences for student athletes. I think when you look at other sports in Division I athletics, get a chance to do summer tours or play games in different places. I think these are great lifelong experiences, and I know as this game continues to evolve into a heavy business model, I do still think we have life experiences and educational opportunities that if they do present themselves, that we need to look wholeheartedly into them. As a graduate assistant, we played in Tokyo, played a bowl game in the Bahamas, and it's guys on that team talk about those experiences for the rest of their lives. So the other side of it also, I think you look at, there's a reason why the NFL keeps playing more and more games in other countries. It's expanding, it's growing. And if there's opportunities to get on the forefront of that, I think you're going to continue to see, as we continue to evolve away from the educational model that I just talked about, it's more of a professional model, many things, you're going to see other avenues open up for other opportunities to, promote, whether it be college football as a whole or the Big 12 itself. And if it does work out that we end up in an opportunity to do that and to be one of the first ones, I think is an exciting opportunity, but we shall see.
Next, going back on the game, what did you think of the offensive line, good or bad, or things that you did?
Sporadic, again, we, better than the game before. I thought we protected Jalen pretty well. There were some times, as you can see, I don't know if, especially first half, we were clicking quite in rhythm as we wanted. The fourth down conversion early for a touchdown was huge for us to get off to a good start. But I thought as the game went on, we wore them down a little bit. We're able to create some things. And again, I thought we had some good performances. Enrique Cruz is playing really well right now for us. Rotating the two guys at left guard probably are still in a good rotation. I thought Bryce Foster had a good game. And again, we continue to work to get better, and there's still a lot of work to be done across the board.
Shaw playing limited snaps. What do you see from Johnny Thompson?
Yeah. I thought Johnny and Harry both stepped up in their opportunities and made the most of them and showed productive plays. We'll again wait and see what Daniel availability is for the week. So we may have to call upon them as well. And again, the moment wasn't too big for those guys. They've worked hard for it, and it was good to see them be productive.
We had a chance to talk to Toby last week, and one of the things he said was on tape, it didn't feel like you guys were far off in the run game. It was a little thing here or there that was keeping them from consistency. Is that something that you're seeing?
Yeah, I think we're getting a little more consistent. Again, as what you hope for, and many times is, the late run in the game, all of a sudden you break one and something good happens, and if you just keep, stay the course and do some things. Obviously, the runs with Jalen were designed quarterback draws, so those are, again, well-blocked plays that you hope. So it is close, and with the multiple fronts you start to see and the different blitz packages that teams are doing to confuse you, it's a challenging week-to-week assignment for those guys to go against what you're seeing these days in college football.
And then Justice Finkley, was that maybe his best game?
Yeah, I think things played hard all along. Probably his best production game. He's been a great addition to this program. Leadership, attitude, sets an example with his work ethic each and every day. So again, I thought he and Dean both played pretty well, probably their best games to this date.
Lance, you mentioned Emmanuel's speed the other night. You talked about it throughout the offseason also. Was that the first thing that jumped out when you looked at him as someone who's available? And I wonder if you could take us back to what you were thinking when.
Yeah, it was again a guy that showed true speed and still had a nice receiver skill set, rawness to his game. But we felt it was something that would definitely help our football team if he was able to get here, and part of that recruiting process. But the thing that's been, and then what he's given us now in the return games has been a huge plus. But he's so humble and hardworking. That's what I really appreciate about the guy. We put a lot on him and weekly player load and things like that. Kid never says a thing. It's just that. And I think he's just a great inspiration to many guys on this team, especially our younger receivers, on how to go about it each and every day.
How do you classify, you personally, how do you classify his speed? I mean, there's game speed, there's track speed, there's sprinter speed, there's all those different types of speed. What do you see it as?
Speed.
Good answer.
I know what you're kind of saying. He plays fast. Like you say, some guys, the game speed, especially like quarterback speed, is when they're getting chased. That's fear speed. But the way he comes off the ball and can close cushion in a short period of time and run past people is definitely impressive, and he does it. Though he has track speed, I don't consider him a track athlete trying to play football. And like I said, if there was a knock on him, it was probably a little bit on ball skills and natural catching, being a former running back. But again, the plays he's made with off his body catches and things like that and adjustments, I think he's more than made the transition to the position. And again, somebody that we're going to need to continue to make big plays for us as we move along.
With Saeed, when you brought him in, you mentioned the ability for him to play slot corner. It seems like he's been used in other ways than that. What do you like about kind of the versatility he's offered you guys in the secondary?
Yeah, Saeed's a very versatile defensive back and play many of those positions. He's smart. He's extremely athletic. He has the build where he can play in different spots, outside, inside. He can play deep and on a hash if he has to. So again, for us to get someone with his abilities, much like Leroy, is somebody in the second window was definitely a nice pickup for us in that way.
And on that note, there was news, I guess, that they're going to one transfer portal window. What are kind of your thoughts on the way that's changing, the way it's trending?
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for that all to be 100% official. I know they're trying to work on the date. I still think, again, the sooner and better that we understand what our roster is what everybody was striving for. And again, to think that everything can be upside down every 6 months is it's not a controlling thing. It was more of a realistic thing on how to operate and build teams and do things. And I think it'll be a benefit. They talked about it one time, adding more practices and letting you doing stuff in the summer. If they would have stayed with a spring or two windows, we would need something like that. I still worry about, all the wear and tear and the mileage we put on players with different stuff, that we find a good balance. And I hope that this window, once we set on that time, it'll never be perfect. There's too many variables between academics, playoffs, recruiting calendars, whatever, that make it very tough to make it perfect. But I think we're all trying to find a good spot to make it work.
You guys have played a couple of games in the new stadium now. What have you thought of the atmosphere so far? What are your expectations for Saturday with another sellout?
Well, I think it's been exciting. I think our people have worked hard at it to continue to make the experience special. Again, between video board and lights, but I think our fans have been extremely loud and into the games and definitely been making a difference. To have a sellout crowd on family weekend will be very important. It's important for us to fill that place on a weekly basis when possible for us, for many fronts, but to create an atmosphere that will make it difficult for opposing teams to come in here. And it was interesting. One of the officials in the first half was outside. He said something to me, and he's like, Coach, remember when I told you guys would be okay if you guys just kept working when this place was half empty, 3 years ago? And he goes, you guys, he's saying how far we've come as a program. So those people notice, and I think it's noticeable about where it's been at and how far we've come, but we still have a long way to go.